Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special episode of Movie Battleground. Why is it so special, you may ask? Well, you may look at the people at the bottom of the screen and realize there's slightly more of them than there usually is. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a triple threat today in the Movie Battleground, and we have some great fighters for you. First, before we get to the fighters, I'm going to go to my judges. First judge, Alex, how you doing today, man?
Recovering from a little bit of a head cold and busy week at work, but I'm here and I'm excited to see these three fighters play. I've seen a couple of them in trivia in the past. Never saw any of them in debates yet, though, but definitely interested in seeing what they can bring to the table.
Awesome. Dan, how we doing, my man?
Hey, hanging in there, man, and I'm looking forward to. I know these guys, all these guys, very well, and they're all good guys. Never seen them debate, actually, I kind of beat Ryan in the debate, but that's not here nor there. Sorry, Ryan, I didn't mean to bring that up. But these guys are all good guys, so I'm looking forward to this.
All right, what an excellent panel of judges we have today. Let's get to our fighters. Our first fighter is Max. Max, how are we doing today?
Everything is good.
Everything is good.
Okay.
Good, I'm glad to hear. Next up, we got Ryan. Ryan, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just happy to be here. First time I've been in a triple threat match like this, so this is going to be complete and utter chaos, but we're going to have fun doing it, so let's roll with it.
Dang right. How you feeling after that slight shade Dan threw your way?
What shade? There is no shade thrown at me in these leagues. Are you kidding me? I'm the coolest guy on the planet. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's going to be a good match. These two competitors are cool dudes, so let's just have fun with it.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And last but not least, we got Michael. Michael, what's going on?
Not much. Just looking forward to being back sooner than I thought. I played quite recently and got Norton 1 and assumed that I'd be done for months, but it's actually only been like a couple of weeks. So here we go. Looking forward to it.
All right. Sounds good. All right, before we get into the questions, and let me tell you, we got a great set of questions today. I'm going to explain a little bit about the rules. So we got 4 main round questions for you guys. Those 4 round questions, we're going to start with each of you. You're each going to get a 90-second opening. Then we're going to have 5 minutes of debate where you each can chime in, throw barbs, don't hold back. I want you to go at each other full force. After that, we're going to have a 60-second closing on the topic. In each round, each player has 1 chance to add an extra minute. If it's a topic you feel rather confident about, you're more than welcome to add an extra minute onto the 5-minute debate. We'll go maximum 7, so if 2 people want to use it for the same one, we can do that. Then the third person can use it in a different round. After we get to the scores, we're going to go to the tiebreaker round if we need to. If we reach the tiebreaker round will consist of 1 or 2 questions until we have a winner. There will be 30-second openings, 15-second rebuttals. The second question will be 30-second openings, 20-second rebuttals, and followed by a 10-second rebuttal. But without any further ado, is everyone ready to go?
Yep.
All right, it's a triple threat match, guys, so we're playing first to 4. Your first question. I'm going to paint you a little picture, if I may. It's the end of the world, and the earth is filled with zombies. What a tragedy. Which fictional movie character would you have protect you? We are going to start with Max. Max, give us your 90 seconds. Real quick, Dan or Alex, can one of you keep the time for me?
I'm on it.
All right, thanks, Alex. All right, Max, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. John Wick is my character. He's probably the most badass character you can imagine to protect yourself from a zombie apocalypse. He literally just kills anyone with anything, a pencil, an eraser, a gun, whatever you need. He's going to get me through that zombie apocalypse for sure. That's my opening statement. I'll get to the necessary things later.
All right, nice, short and sweet, to the point. I dig it. Ryan, let's go to you next.
All right, for this scenario, you're going to need all the help you can get. You're going to need to play that 1 card and bring in that fictional character that's really going to help you get through the worst of the worst, and no matter what. So I'm going to take what my opponent said, and I'm going to raise you a certain character by the name of Kal-El. He's a man of steel. I can't remember his other name. What was it? Oh, yeah. Superman is the character I went with to protect you from the zombie apocalypse. There are a number of reasons why this character would work in this scenario, but I will save that for later. For now, that is my opening statement.
All right, well done, well done. And last but not least, let's close it out, Michael.
Okay, so I went on the assumption that if you're caught in a zombie apocalypse, you want it to be over and done with as quickly as possible, which is why I wanted someone who could do it. I mean, John Wick's okay, but he wouldn't do it as quickly as Superman. But also, I just feel like there's another character which is more efficient to this, and that's Dr. Manhattan. From the Watchmen films, I think he'd just get it over and done with quickest, basically. Happy to fight on further.
All right. Three very interesting choices. I'm looking forward to this this next stretch of time here. Does anyone want to use their 1 minute extension?
No.
Nope. All right, Alex, if you're ready on the time, go.
Yep.
Right.
All right. First of all, I was thinking of one other character, but it's funny you bring that up. But anyway, the point is, Superman 100% would handle this situation perfectly. Why? He's invulnerable to pretty much, like, nothing can really touch him unless you got a rock of kryptonite, which wouldn't happen because zombies are brainless, mindless creatures that have no idea what's going on. They just want to eat as much flesh as possible and look for their next meal.
What if zombies are mind controlled by Lex Luthor and they're kryptonite zombies? Then Superman will die. You need John Wick to protect.
I feel like that's a bit of a stretch, Max.
Anything without any weakness whatsoever. He can kill literally everyone with a pencil. That's amazing.
Yeah, John Wick's weakness in this scenario is he's a human that is restricted to what he's actually able to do. I think Superman's a better option because he's got a multitude of powers. He's largely invincible. I just think Dr. Manhattan brings even more to the table again. You can get, for a start, he can clone himself. You could get multiple Dr. Manhattans and get done before tea time, basically. You could just spread the workload off quite evenly. It'd just be so simple and quick, and then he can just rebuild everything as he tends to do. From time to time, just rebuild the new planet or whatever.
And Superman can protect you from pretty much anything. He can take you to the safest place, no matter where it is, how it is, whatever. He has ways of getting there because he can freaking fly, and then he can get to his fortress where there are other resources for him to use to keep you safe from any kind of danger, any kind of harm. I mean, the answer is right in front of you. I mean, if the zombies find you, Superman can fight them off easily with his powers because he has a multitude of them at his disposal. So there you go.
Well,
the answer is clear.
The thing about Superman is that he can fly, he can take you literally anywhere. But John Wick knows the underground. He knows every freaking passageway that can make you safe. You're a human. You need someone. You need a human to protect yourself. You don't need a superhuman or a freaking god with a large penis to protect yourself. You need someone who is almost invincible, who can fight off with literally anyone, and at any given situation with the same advantage as the zombies who are brainless fucks. I don't know, but that's what it is.
I would like to clarify at this point that the size of penis involved has not come into reckoning for this question. I've really focused on the ability to just do the job as quickly as possible. I just believe with Dr. Manhattan. I think I see what is being said with Superman about going to the fortress again. Do we need to waste time going to Superman's fortress and everything, or can we just get this over and done with?
Yeah, exactly. Why would we want to go to Superman's fortress? For what?
Because that's one of the places where you can be safe, or you can go anywhere. It doesn't matter. He can take you there.
We're very much in a zombie apocalypse. I don't think there's going to be a lot of obvious safe points.
With Superman, he can find a way. Okay, he can find a way. There are ways of getting to other places without having to use the Fortress of Solitude.
Well, if there is a way and the world is plagued by a zombie apocalypse, at one point you're going to have to find a safe place, a safe hidden place, and the only person that knows that is John Wick. The hidden passageway.
The catacombs of Rome?
Exactly, man. There's no zombies in the catacombs of Rome. It's completely safe. It's not.
It's
complete sarcasm, but still.
How long would you estimate it would take John Wick to fight off an entire zombie apocalypse? It would take him days,
take him a long
if not
while.
months.
He can fight off anyone with anything. He can fight a zombie with. I don't even know what this is. But he can fight zombies with this, and he can kill them if he wants to because he's John frickin' Wick.
Yeah, and
no idea what
Dr. Manhattan can kill a zombie with basically nothing. He can just sort of click his fingers and they'll just explode. Why
That's
waste time
easier.
picking up pencils and pens and filing cabinets or
You want to
whatever?
be badass. You want to have someone.
You just snap his fingers and it's done.
You don't want a god to just blow up everything and then reconstruct
Yeah,
the world in his image, not in the image of the world that was already preconceived.
You know, they call your character Baba Yaga the boogeyman. Well, let me tell you something. The zombies are the boogeyman in this scenario because John Wick taking on all those zombies,
Well, what?
he would get
Time.
killed within
That
like
is
the
time,
first
gentlemen.
5 minutes.
Time. Well done. All right. Remember, everyone, it has been said here, size doesn't matter. Size does not matter. All right. Now, each of you, you will be going into your 60-second closing. So let's start where we started. And Max, you can go first.
Okay, so why do they call John Wick the boogeyman? They don't call him the boogeyman because he's the boogeyman. They call him because he's the person that is sent to kill the fucking boogeyman. So you need John Wick to protect yourself against the zombie apocalypse because he can kill all the zombies very easily. He's heavily trained. He's heavily armed with a pencil, with an eraser, with whatever. He can murder zombies. He can make you safe again. Who knows what's going to happen, but it was fun. There you go.
All right. Let's move it right along to Ryan. Ryan, whenever you're ready.
Gee willikers. All right, look, the bottom line is this. If the world's overrun by zombies and you need something or someone to protect you, there really is no other way to answer this other than Superman because he is invulnerable to pretty much anything. He has that strength. He has the ability to fly you off anywhere you need to go. He can find you ways to get you other resources, whether it be food, water. Even if the whole world's overrun by zombies, there is a way for Superman to protect you, keep you from harm. He will save you from the zombie apocalypse. If he can save the day in any given comic book or almost all of his movies, he can definitely do it in this scenario. And the bottom line is Superman is the perfect choice for this, and this is why he would win in a zombie apocalypse and protect you 100% of the time, no matter what happens.
All right. Well done. And Michael, close us out.
To the question, would I want God to just blow everything up and create a new world or whatever? Yes, that's exactly what I want to happen in this situation. John Wick would not be able to overcome a zombie apocalypse it would take him months. I know he's good and everything, but it'd take months. Superman has a lot of powers, but there are certain extra powers which he doesn't have, which Dr. Manhattan would have, which just makes this a much easier process. I just don't want to be with zombies. They're not fun. I don't really have a lot more to add. I really just think this is about efficiency and getting the job done. I think Dr. Manhattan is that character, basically.
All right, gentlemen. Great first round. Well done. Appreciate all the arguments. Before we get into our first round of judging, I'd like to introduce someone. We have a fourth judge who is here in the event that Dan, Alex, and I just simply cannot come to an agreement on who deserves the point. So please welcome Cody. Cody, how are we doing?
Fantastic. Got in halfway through that debate, and with the three competitors, it's exactly how I thought this fight would go. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Awesome. So Cody's here to break the tie if we need him. So thank you, Cody. First, to judge this round, I'm going to go to Alex first. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Well, looking over just quick notes that I made here, there was a couple of points made about one of these characters that really nobody had true counters for. And even if they eventually did, but it's that Dr. Manhattan is more powerful than Superman. So if you want somebody to both protect you and help stop the zombie apocalypse, if Superman's powerful enough to do that, yeah, I'll take someone more powerful if I can. The whole remaking world in his image, yeah, that's an after effect, but really there was no real good knock against Dr. Manhattan and the upsides of having him on your side. So I'm going to give the point to Michael on that one with the pick of Dr. Manhattan.
All right, one for Michael. Dan, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, these guys had, Ryan and Max had very good points about their characters. But I felt like Michael just destroyed everything they said. Would you want someone to end the zombie apocalypse right away? Of course you would. Who can do that? Dr. Manhattan. So that when he said that, and he said, I don't have anything else to say. I just want it over with. And that was the thing that made me say, yeah, that's who I want to fight the zombie apocalypse, Dr. Manhattan. No matter, nobody cares about how big his unit is. But yeah, I give the point to Michael.
All right, that's 2. No need for my vote. That's 1 point to Michael. Michael, congratulations. Well done. Good first round. And without further ado, let's move on to question number 2. So it'll be formatted the same way as question number 1. You'll each get a 90-second opening, followed by a 5-minute debate and a 60-second closing. So the question is, which DC character would you cast Megan Fox as? So since last time we started with Max, we're going to start with Ryan this time. Ryan, what do you got?
All right, this is a very interesting question, and I wanted to go with something that would suit her best for Megan Fox, especially with a few other points that I will make during the main part of the debate. But the character I went with that I would cast Megan Fox as is Dinah Laura Lance, the Black Canary. I went with the Black Canary for Megan Fox because there are certain elements she could bring to the role, but I'll explain more about that during the main part of the debate.
All right. Solid choice. Let's go to Michael.
I have picked a character called I might pronounce this incorrectly, and I apologize if I do. Is a character called Zatanna, Zatanna, who is born to a sorcerer father and adopts his sorcerer abilities, and is later associated with Justice League Dark.
All right. 2 solid choices, Max. Let's round it out.
All right. So first of all, before I say anything, I wouldn't cast Megan Fox in anything, but I'd cast her as Lois Lane to avoid damage control, if you will, because it's not really a big role. So I'll leave it at that.
All right, there we go. All right, before we get into the 5 minutes, anyone want to use their 1-minute extension?
No.
Nope. All right, then if you're all ready, Alex on the time, please begin.
Okay, so the first one I want to just approach is Black Canary. We're getting Black Canary. It's in Birds of Prey next year. We don't need 2 Black Canaries. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Actually, at that point, I suppose we've still technically got a Lois Lane, so I think...
But Amy Adams is playing Lois Lane. I don't think he is.
I missed that, sorry.
I don't think Amy Adams is playing Lois Lane anymore.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. But we are, do we really want to go from Amy Adams to Megan Fox, a 6-time Academy Award nominee to Megan
Fox? Absolutely.
Jeez, you're wow. I mean, you saying Lois, that's just ridiculous. That's gonna tarnish.
I mean, first of all, she played
an iconic character, if not tarnished already, just by saying the words Megan Fox.
She played a reporter in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, that was just. No,
I mean, she has the chops to do it. She can do it.
But Lois Lane is that's like a bigger legacy to live up to than Judith Hogue and Paige Turco. Let's be honest. But the point is, Black Canary, it suits Megan Fox well because she has the right look for it. She has the right she can bring the physicality to it. She has the right look, the fishnets, the whole outfit, the whole thing.
I mean, to be honest,
hold on a second. With her being like, whether it's a radio DJ or reporter, either way, however she goes about whatever kind of iteration of the character they're going for, it's gonna work for her. Like you said, she did partly of it in Ninja Turtles. She can bring that to it, fine. But I would love to see how she interacts with other characters within Gotham or Star City, wherever they want to put her. She would bring something a little bit different to Black Canary than what we've seen with Katie Cassie and everyone else.
Lois Lane is a damsel in distress, and Megan Fox suits that damsel in distress role perfectly because honestly, she plays really dumb characters, and Lois Lane is a dumb character. I'm sorry. She's fucking dumb.
Ooh.
So if
the dumbest situations on purpose, and the only actress that is able to be dumb and play a dumb character is Megan Fox.
if I may step in here, firstly, I'd quite like to see a Lois Lane that wasn't dumb. I would like us to be a bit more ambitious with Lois Lane than that, if I'm honest. I don't think that's a good route to take the character down. Also, she's been in multiple movies so far. We've seen Lois Lane quite a bit already. Black Canary would be new, but we are already getting a new Black Canary next year in Birds of Prey, as I said, so I don't see the necessity of having a second Black Canary. Zatanna is a character I largely picked because it would be a new character, so that allows. Firstly, it gives Megan Fox a chance to explore a completely new character. Regardless of what we think of her as an actress, any actor would want that opportunity to do something that hasn't been done on screen before. Also, the character itself gives us an opportunity to explore sorcery, which we've not seen in the DCU yet, and bring in the Justice League Dark, which has been
have you seen
widely
Shazam?
rumored for ages to be. And with so many great directors like Del Toro and George Miller, and just think what Megan Fox could do with a director with actual talent working with it. Could unlock a whole new region in her ability.
Okay, you talk about Sam has talked about sorcery. I mean, the first I don't want to spoil it, but it talks about sorcery a lot. So it wouldn't be new seeing that world again because we were familiar with it a little bit in Shazam. So.
Oh yeah, but Shazam came out yesterday.
Well, 2 days ago, actually.
Whatever. Your choice for her as Lois Lane is just dumb. By the way, Zatanna's already been played to perfection live action wise. Go and look at that little indie show called Smallville that was on the air for 10 years. And by the way, Serinda Swan played Zatanna on that iteration of the show. She killed it. So for Megan Fox to play Zatanna,
yeah.
I don't think she's going to bring anything new or dynamic to that character the way that she can play Black Canary and interact with all the different characters in Gotham and Star City. She can bring a really interesting dynamic with Megan Fox's Black Canary in Gotham, talking to Poison Ivy, talking to Harley Quinn, all the other different characters within DC, whether it's in Gotham, Star City, or anywhere else for that matter. Megan Fox's Black Canary would be unique. It would be different. It would be something to really stretch her acting chops, whatever acting chops she may have left. This would really push her beyond her limits, and it would be really good to see on screen because no one would see it coming, and it would get people talking. That is for sure.
Okay,
but it wouldn't be new because it would be a year or two after next year's Black Canary. I'm afraid I can't remember.
They're making a Joker
Black
movie.
Canary
If there's room for
film,
600 Jokers,
just seems
That's time, gentlemen.
All right, well done. Great round, good points all around. We're going to move into our 60-second closing. Before we do that, I'm just going to reread you guys the question, just so it's fresh in your mind. The question is, which DC character would you cast Megan Fox as? So we started with Ryan. Let's start with Ryan again. Ryan, go ahead. 60 seconds.
All right. DC Universe, you want to switch things up. You want to change things up. You want to shake it to its foundation and make a decision that no one would see coming and it would really bring something new and different to the table. Megan Fox as the character of Black Canary playing Dinah Laura Lance, whether she's a radio DJ, reporter, whichever iteration they're going to go with, whether she's working in Gotham City or whether she's in Star City, whatever environment that you put her in, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be something that you really need to watch, and it's going to push Megan Fox to really put a lot of practice studying, whatever it is, physicality, the dynamic with her characters into that role, and that is why Megan Fox would be a much better, a great choice to play Black Canary, Dinah Laura Lance. She has the right attitude. She has the right look for it. She could bring the physicality with all the training that the people working behind the scenes would give her, and that is why Megan Fox should play Black Canary as a DC character.
All right, well done. Moving right along to Michael.
So I get where Nicholas is coming from. We have to explain why this is a Megan Fox role. But I do think that the idea of having a new character for her to sink her teeth into is the key here. Lois Lane, we've seen multiple times before. And to be honest, I think Max's pitch for the character is a bit reductive in what is already a very male-centric genre. Black Canary we are getting next year, so I don't really see the point in doing another version of that. Zatanna is something different. I think as an actor, you've got to be excited by the prospect of taking on something different, fresh, exciting. I think that would be just a perfect opportunity for her to show what she can do.
All right, all right. And Max, please close us out.
All right, so let me be clear. Megan Fox cannot really act, and we have to give her a role that she's comfortable with, something that she won't be extravagant as or try to overact as she will with Black Canary and with Zatanna. And I believe that Lois Lane is the perfect role for her because she's already played a reporter before. She's comfortable with playing a journalist / reporter before and being a damsel in distress because it's essentially what she's been doing all of her career, but no one really watches Megan Fox for her performance. I'm sorry.
All right. Well done, gentlemen. Another great round. We're going to go to Dan first. Dan, let me know what you're thinking.
I'll tell you what. A couple of these guys made some really good points. I just want to go to Ryan real quick. Ryan, you made some good points about adding a Black Canary and so forth, having her do it. She could break out of what she's done before and do something different. And I like that. I like that you said that. Michael really tore both of Ryan and Max's points to shreds because, all right, we've seen Lois Lane. We've seen her done fantastic by Amy. We've seen her done by other people. Why do we want to see her do something we've already seen? And the damsel in distress thing, we're trying to get away from where the women need men to save them type of thing. He mentioned that. And then, of course, he said Black Canary is going to be in the Birds of Prey movie coming up. So why do we need her as Black Canary? And then he made a very valid point about how Zatanna hasn't been done before. This should be a role where she could sink her teeth into. This would be something different and give her something to do that she has never done before. So based off of that, I have to give my point to Michael.
All right. That's one point for Michael. I'm going to go next. And I'm actually going to disagree with you a little bit, Dan. But let's start with Lois. Whether or not one agrees with Max's depiction of the character, I think Michael did a good job of sort of saying that we should strive for better than that. So Lois was sort of put out of the picture for me. It was between Zatanna and Black Canary. And I already played my hand a little bit in saying that I disagree. But I did think Michael's argument really, really relied on the fact of, there's other characters. Do we really want to see them again? And I was waiting for Ryan or Max to say one word. And Ryan said it, and that's Joker. We're getting a million Joker movies. Why can't we have multiple characters? I reread the question because it's not strictly DCEU. It's what DC character. With that, Michael's argument sort of fell apart for me, and then I could really sort of picture what Ryan was going for. I think Megan Fox would fit in good as Black Canary, so that's going to be 1 point for Ryan as well. So, Alex, what are you thinking?
Well, I agree with what you and Dan have said so far, but what it does come down to for me is quite simply knowing DC, knowing their strategy and how they want to try to give each character a building block. I have to go with Zatanna on this one, simply on the point of Michael, as he persistently said, we're already getting a Black Canary movie as part of Birds of Prey. And ultimately, there was really no true counter for that other than saying Joker. But the Joker is an iconic character, and this is trying to fix him. Black Canary is a character who's never been portrayed in film before, so a first appearance is one that we're going to get already. Whereas Zatanna, I like the take that she is a new character. It's a chance for someone to really make their name in that role and also expand on the world of magic, which was just started with Shazam. There was really no counter to those items for Zatanna, so I'm going to give my point to Michael on this one as well.
All right. Well, that decides it. Michael, you're going into question 3 up with a 2-0 lead. So without further ado, let's get right to question number 3. And question number 3, short, simple, to the point. What is the best Al Pacino performance? And we started with Ryan last time. So Michael, you're up. 90 seconds.
The answer I'm going with is The Godfather. Obviously, it's one of the greatest films ever made. I also think it's Al Pacino before he became big, brash, all over the place. The Godfather's quite a restrained performance in many ways. I personally admire that a lot more when an actor isn't obviously acting a lot. So I really admire what Pacino does in The Godfather. It's quite quiet, it's quite understated at places, and it's just a lot calmer. It's less, trying to be big or trying to play a type to win awards or whatever. It's just a naturally good, calm, but very, very effective performance in a very, very effective film.
All right. Michael with The Godfather. Moving on next to Max.
Okay, so I chose probably Al Pacino's most iconic performance, his best performance that he ever did, and it is as Frank Slade in Scent of a Woman. Hooah! That's it.
All right. Short and simple. I like it. Ryan, let's hear it.
Not your best impression, though. Anyway, best Al Pacino performance. Let's get down to brass tacks here. The other movies, they're fine, but there's one film where he is the centerpiece. It's his story about his character, how he rose to gain the power that he gets. It's directed by Brian De Palma. It's the one and only Scarface, Tony Montana. He is the centerpiece of that film because Al Pacino has been in a lot of films where it's an ensemble cast. Godfather's one of them, and in that film particularly, he doesn't really stand out because it's such a big cast. With Scarface, he is the centerpiece. He is the main focus. It's all about his story, all about his character, where he goes, how he gets there, what happens to him, and everything else around him. So I went with Scarface.
All right. Great openings, everyone. Great openings. And once again, I will ask if anyone wants to use their 1 minute extension for this 5 minute round. Nope. All right. Whenever you're ready, begin.
Okay. I going back to sort of what I was alluding to. I obviously wasn't aware of what the competitive picks we did choose to share answers, but these were two of the films I was very much alluding to. I was talking about big, bold, potentially even over the top Al Pacino in Scarface. Like, it's just sort of loud and big, and not really my type of performance. And Scent of a Woman was what I was alluding to with playing a type to win awards. I get this is perhaps a touchy and not necessarily very popular opinion, but I don't always like it when actors take on disability roles because it does feel a bit like you'll get the praise for it. It feels like you're essentially.
Well, here's the thing about his performance in Scent of a Woman. It's very nuanced. It doesn't really offend people with disabilities. It's actually a pretty respectful portrayal of someone who is living with a pretty bad disability and can't see. So really, what you see in Al Pacino's performance is a lot of really nuanced emotions. When he talks, you only see his mouth. You can't see his eyes because he can't see. So his eyes are always wide open, but you don't really know what's going on in his head of his. Whereas in Scarface, his performance is like you said, Michael, over the top. I'm snorting cocaine, I'm shooting everybody. It's funny, but it means it's not really that amazing of a performance compared to Scent of a Woman's performance.
Well, I beg to differ because in this story, where in Scarface, he is not only is he the main focus, but you see where it all goes. You see him as a political prisoner from Cuba, works his way up the ladder as a drug kingpin. That is incredible to watch. He commands every single scene that he's in, no matter who else is in the scene with him, whether it's his energy, his style, the dialogue that he's been given, the lines that he says. I mean, some of the best filmmakers of all time, including Martin Scorsese, have been on record as saying that they praise the film. It's been referenced in several different facets of pop culture for several decades. Heck, Scarface was nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Actor for Pacino, Best Supporting Actor for Steve
Pacino won his award for
Best Original Score for but it was nominated. And Tony Montana, the character himself, is on AFI's top 100 heroes and villains list. I mean, I don't know how more iconic and how much more praise you can get other than being on an AFI list and being praised by filmmakers like Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, and everyone else who's had the opportunity to either meet with Al Pacino or work with him.
Well, The Godfather's kind of had, I would call perhaps a prestige picture. I feel like that's had some cultural.
Well, the problem with The Godfather is that you don't really pay attention to Al Pacino in that movie. You pay more attention to Marlon Brando's character. Yeah. His performance is much more memorable than Pacino's. I really, honestly, didn't give 2 shits about Michael in The Godfather, but in The Godfather 2, however, it's a better performance.
The Godfather ends with the completion of Michael's arc, and the reason that the ending of The Godfather is so effective is because you've been invested into his arc. And even before we get distracted with what the film does instead of the actor, I get what you're saying about the nuances, but I just feel like it's a better skill, instead of copying something which other people suffer from, to just build a character naturally from the ground up, as he does in The Godfather. I just think it's
with Death of a Woman. It's very dramatic. It's very, you feel it. Whereas in The Godfather, it's more of, hi, I'm Al Pacino. I've never really acted before. Let's see what happens. And in Death of a Woman, he's much more confident. He's much more energetic. You see that he really commits to the role. You really, you fall for him. You believe that Al Pacino is blind, that he suffers from this disease, that he, like I said, he's a better character than, a coke snorting crazy dude shooting everybody with a gun because whatever, and this crime boss who, isn't really the centerpiece of the movie. At one point, he becomes the centerpiece of the movie because his dad dies or whatever. But
well, when it comes to Al Pacino performances, how many people are quoting many lines from his character from Son of a Woman other than "Hoo-ah"? And then Godfather, he barely has any memorable lines in those movies whatsoever. With Scarface, those have memorable lines and quotable lines that people say
what, say
all
hello
the
to my little
time,
friend?
specifically
That's
from
it?
Al Pacino's character in Scarface.
Is that it? Say hello to my little friend. The world is yours.
Yeah, but there are many other lines that are quoted from him, like because that movie is so iconic and it's so highly regarded.
Okay,
one of the reasons is because of Pacino's
you're saying that his performance is iconic, but how is it iconic compared to what Pacino does in Scent of a Woman? It's iconic because he says "Say hello to my little friend," which is an iconic line. Is that what you're saying?
That's time, guys.
Okay.
Time. All right. Well done. Got a little heated there for a second. Let's go into our 60-second closings. We started with Michael. So, Michael, whenever you're ready.
I think the best sign of a good actor is you can go back to the core basics of acting, just naturally building a character from the ground up and just putting in a natural performance and still being in this conversation, basically, still being in constant conversation where people can say, yeah, that was his best performance, actually, not the big ones where he tries so hard to be big, brash, or he tries so hard to represent a community, which it isn't really natural to him because that's not what he is. What he is a good actor, and I think The Godfather is just him taking it back to the basics of acting and still managing to give as good a performance as any of these, just by being very calm and layered in his performance.
All right. Well done, Matt. You're up.
All right. Well, The Godfather is a good movie. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. But Pacino's performance instead of a Woman, part of me, is a lot more nuanced, more dramatic. It's Pacino really at its prime. And it's I'm really confident I can make this character work, and that's why his performance is more iconic, more better performance because of really the dramatic aspect of its performance. Whereas as in Scarface, he's over the top, but in Scent of a Woman, he's a humane, more nuanced character than in The Godfather or in Scarface. It's really the humane part, the humanity that really grabs me in Scent of a Woman. Scent of a Woman. God damn it, I cannot pronounce it. There you go.
Noted. And now, Ryan, whenever you're ready.
All right. Al Pacino in The Godfather, large ensemble cast. He gets lost in the shuffle. Scent of a Woman,
Yep.
Yeah, but he also shares the screen with another actor, even though to some extent he may or may not be the centerpiece. But the bottom line is this: Al Pacino is the focus. He is the centerpiece. He is the main star. He's the lead in Scarface. He commands the screen. He owns it. Whatever was written on that page, he took it from director Brian De Palma, written by Oliver Stone. He ran with it and he owned it every single step of the way. He commands every single scene he's in. So many of his lines are iconic. More people talk about his lines, more people talk about his performance in that than they would arguably in The Godfather, as well as Scent of a Woman. It was nominated for so many different awards. It's on AFI's Heroes and Villains. The Say Hello to My Little Friend is listed as one of the 100 best movie quotes of all time. And Scarface as a film itself is on the top 10 list of best gangster films ever made. And one of the reasons is because of Al Pacino's performance. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He kills it in this movie, literally, and he does well.
All right. Wrong actor. Well done, everyone. I'm going to be kicking this one off with my decisions. So let's start out with I'm going to start out with Scarface. So that's not a good sign, Ryan. My apologies. But starting out with Scarface, I do think you were kind of hit on the over-the-top nature. And unfortunately, until you're closing just now, I feel like most of the argument was about the movie as opposed to the performance. And also, I tend not to – the arguments of like awards and lists tend not to hold weight for me due to their subjectivity. So unfortunately, I had to remove Scarface, and it was between The Godfather and Scent of a Woman. And actually, I did agree – with some points, especially that the attention is mostly on Marlon Brando. It is more of an ensemble. While he is building a character from the ground up, and I do definitely appreciate that, I really think Max sold me most on the performance of Al Pacino, so I'm going to go with Max. Alex, what are your thoughts?
All right. Well, first, I actually have a couple fact checks I did during the round.
Okay.
Ryan brought up the fact that Tony, the character Tony from Scarface, is in the top 100 heroes and villains. He's number 47 on the villains list. Oddly enough, higher on the list for Pacino is number 11 for Michael Corleone, but in Godfather Part 2. Surprised that didn't come up, though. And then the facts of the awards nominations. Very surprised nobody brought up the fact that two of these people actually picked movies that he was nominated for Oscars for. Max brought up Son of a Woman. He was also nominated for The Godfather. I'm surprised that didn't come into play. But to the arguments themselves, yeah, Ryan was completely shut out on the arguments with everything you just said. And I want to go add just a little bit more of Michael had a great point of his performance being understated, being very naturalistic, but Max countered that perfectly by saying in Son of a Woman, he's playing a character who is nuanced. He's respectful of disability. He's well-researched. I've read into the research that was done for that film, and Max briefly brought up the point, but it is true. He did research well for that role. So ultimately, I'm going to go with Max on this one as well. He was able to counter the arguments from Michael and bring on some points for his own that never really got countered, and he just made the better argument in this case.
All right. So there's 1 point to Max. Well done, Max. So a little score update. Right now, Michael, you have 2 points. Max, you have 1 point. And Ryan, you're looking to get on the board. Here's what's going to happen. We have one main round question left. Ryan, if you get this point, we're going to go into a tiebreaker question to see between you and Max who goes to the speed round. But if Max or Michael get it, then we'll enter the speed round as is. So the final question in the main round. Again, short, simple. Please, what is the worst on-screen couple? And we're going to go back to the beginning here, and we're going to start with Max.
Okay, so this is a movie that I watched last week, and I said there is no comparison. This is the worst on-screen couple I have seen ever, and that is Amber Moore and Prince Richard from the Netflix original film A Christmas Prince, and its sequel that I haven't seen and probably will not.
All right, I'm looking forward to hearing more, but thank you for that, Max, and let's move on to Ryan.
All right. Worst on-screen couple, good Lord Almighty. After rewatching these 3 films, more specifically the other 2, I should say, it's utterly terrible. It's utterly boring. They have no idea what's going on. They're just trying to get through the scene so they can get to lunch and get to the catering table on set. And that would be the characters of Anakin Skywalker, Padme Amidala, Hayden Christensen, Natalie Portman. God-awful, just terrible for a billion reasons that we will discuss a little bit later on. Back to you at the desk.
All right. Thank you, sir. And Michael, please close us out with your opening.
So, in my movie Battleground debut, I had to argue the question of worst 2000s rom-com, and I was roundly called out for having not seen the film Geely. Having now seen the movie Geely, I would like to put forward every argument under the sun that the couple of Larry Geely and Ricky, as played by Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, is not only a bad, poorly acted, and completely forced on-screen relationship, it's completely unprofessional because they're supposed to be working together as a team. It's not very professional to have an on-screen romance. It's also horrifically offensive to everybody. The way the film has this idea that Larry Geely can turn a lesbian straight is so offensive to the LGBT community. They sleep with each other after her ex-girlfriend tries to commit suicide. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, this is seriously, it's bad, it's forced, it's unprofessional, it's downright offensive. Larry Geely and Ricky, I hated the film.
All right, Bennifer.
Oofa.
All right, guys. I'm going to ask one last time. Does anyone want to use their 1 minute extension?
Oy vey. I don't think so. What about you? Do these boys want to use it? I don't think so.
No.
I don't know if I can handle more than 5 minutes.
I don't think anyone on this panel can.
All right, gentlemen, 5 minutes. Please begin.
All right. It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Good Lord,
right.
man. Look, your movies are one movie specifically. I'm talking about these two, man. These two, This tarnishes a legacy, man. This is the Star Wars legacy we're talking about here. It's so bad about what they did to Anakin and Padme. It's ridiculous. They're like teenage lovers that run off together and get married, and then they try to have kids, and then she dies in childbirth or dies after he chokes her out on Mustafar in episode 3, which is just god-awful acting, god-awful writing. There's no chemistry. There's nothing going on. And these are two films that people actually
there's no chemistry, but at least they have some sort of development, that weaves into their relationship. Whereas in The Christmas Prince, literally at one point, at random, they fall in love, and then you're supposed to be okay with that. There's no build-up. There's nothing that comes with the two characters. It's like, hey, let's fall in love. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and to sort of piggyback on that point, yeah, Padme and Anakin isn't a great relationship, but it kind of in a morbid way makes sense. The idea that these two are in a position where they knew each other growing up. Padme is looking for someone who understands her. The Christmas film, it's kind of forced, I guess, but it's a whole other level in Geely. I mean, it's forced. There's no sense of it happening for quite a long period of the film. The first time Ricky meets Larry Geely, she quite openly calls him a complete moron, doesn't know what he's doing. Then expresses the idea that she's actually not into guys at all. She's a lesbian. Yeah, that's great. Let's have some good progressive themes. Let's introduce some good ideas in the film. And it just segues so randomly into this idea that it's then just okay for them to be a couple. It's not. There's no.
Geely's a 2-hour movie, and A Christmas Prince is like 90 minutes long, and like 30 minutes before the movie ends, they fall in love. It happens, and then they break up, and then they fall in love again, and then they get married, and then they set up for a sequel, and it's like, okay, where's the development? Where do they fall in love? Off screen? We see nothing. We see no development.
In Geely, it's not even a lack of development. They actively suggest that it cannot happen because she isn't interested in guys at all. She has an ex-girlfriend that is, I cannot stress this enough, trying to commit suicide over their relationship.
Yeah, but that doesn't really have to be the couple, though. It's the ex-girlfriend. It's whatever. I mean, it's...
And that is just creepy as you know what, which I won't say the word because I want to make this family friendly. But man, worst on-screen couple. I mean, look at what we're dealing with here. We were waiting to see what happens before he became Darth Vader with Anakin and whatever relationships that he had, because we didn't really know about it during the original trilogy. But this, you find out it's Padme, and then you find out that she was like 10 years older than him, and then they get together, and then it's just utter complete chaos.
Anakin doesn't like Stan.
Dumb.
Whereas
the writing's terrible, the directing's terrible, their scenes together are god awful. I mean, at least Natalie Portman's at least trying to put somewhat of an effort into whatever it is that she's trying to act as, but it's very hard to believe that this is how these two characters met, came together, fell in love, all this other BS, and this is how Anakin becomes Darth Vader because of this relationship. It's terrible. It's god awful.
In episode 2, at least you see them falling in love. You see them having a good time. You know that Anakin doesn't like sand. In A Christmas Prince, you don't see any of that. It's like,
but you can turn that movie off in 2 seconds. But Star Wars, this is like millions and millions of people watch these movies. 2 people saw Geely, 1.5 people saw Christmas Prince, whatever the hell it's called. Star Wars is iconic, and when you talk about what they don't like about the Star Wars franchise, this is one of the things that comes up: is the relationship between Anakin and Padme and how god awful it is.
I don't understand how the amount of people watching the relationship changes the effect that the relationship has on that audience. And if you take the same 10 people and show them the Star Wars relationship, they'll roll their eyes a bit, they'll shrug, they'll moan. If you show those same 10 people the stuff that happens in Geely, they'll be like,
at least in Star Wars,
what the hell are you doing? That woman is trying to look like, this woman is going through a lot with her ex-girlfriend, trying to commit suicide, and then the film is just absolutely fine having them hook up. It makes actively no sense. These other 2 are just kind of forced. This one actively does not work.
Okay,
if you ask the average moviegoer what would scar them more for life, would it be Geely, your movie, or the Star Wars prequels and how bad Anakin and Padme were? 9 times out of 10, people are going to see Anakin and Padme were absolutely
time.
Whatever.
Well, Ryan, I hate to break it to you, but we're way past family friendly. Let's move into our 60-second closings. And Max, please start us off.
Okay, at least in Star Wars, you had 3 movies to build up that relationship, and there is an arc. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end. In The Christmas Prince, there's none of that. There's a sort of beginning. They fall in love off screen. I don't know. They fall in love. They start kissing, and then they want to get married, but we don't really see that. It's like they fall in love, break up. Oh, okay, let's get married, I guess, and let's pretend that everything's fine again. Who cares? There's a sequel. I don't know. I didn't watch it, the sequel, but yeah. Whereas in Geely, it's whatever. It's a bad movie. It's a bad couple. It's a couple that doesn't go together, but fine, whatever. It's Geely.
Fine, whatever. It's Geely indeed. All right, Ryan, take us home.
Those movies barely made a dime at either the box office or Netflix. Netflix, your movie, 1.5 people may have watched it. Geely, I think it made like 6 million opening weekend, and then no one ever thought about it ever again. Star Wars, people think about it, people talk about it all the time because there is a huge, huge fan base. And when you talk to them about what is one of the worst absolute aspects of that franchise, it is the worst on-screen couple that they saw during the course of those 8 movies that we've seen that are part of the saga. Anakin, Padme, garbage, horrible writing, horrible directing, horrible acting, wooden dialogue. The whole 9, we are waiting to see how Anakin, what his past was like, how he became Darth Vader, and it ended up like this. He chokes her. She's breaking my heart. Falls on the ground. Ugh. Garbage. Horrible, horrible garbage. Anakin, Padme, worst on-screen couple in cinematic history. That is that.
All right, well done. And Michael, please.
I still don't think the size of the audience really matters. For the record, I don't really give a shit about prequels and stuff. I would have been happy not seeing the Darth Vader storyline at all, to be honest. These 2 films are, well, I guess 4 films. They're all bad, yes, and they have very forced relationships, but their relationships are inoffensive. They're just kind of typically not great. Whereas in Geely, it is genuinely hideously offensive. It actively does not work, to the point where they make the character a lesbian to highlight how little interest she has in Larry Geely, and then it forces it through completely offensively to several communities because I guess macho white men be cool.
All right. There we have it. What a round. We're going to start with Alex. I don't envy you.
Oh, God. Because I am sad to say I have watched every single one of these films brought up, and I, at various points, agree with every single point that was made in this debate. So what it comes down to for me is the fact that there were points made for one of the movies that there was no countering on, and that is the offensiveness of the relationship in Gigli, where you're turning a lesbian straight while her ex-partner is suicidally depressed. None of that was countered in any real fashion. So on that note, I've got to give the point to Michael for bringing that up and how horribly portrayed that relationship was. Just it really is the worst of the worst when you're looking at it in these three relationships.
All right, Dan. That's 1 point for Michael.
Yeah, I want to just, first of all, Max made some good points that just absolutely shredded what Ryan was saying. But then when Max was talking about, he didn't even know his own characters in his own movie. He didn't even know the people's names. So how can I give a point to Max? He didn't even know the people.
I didn't know. I didn't pronounce the people's name.
At the beginning you said the actors' names, but you never.
No. These are the characters' names.
Or what? All right. Well, but then you never mentioned them after that. But then you shredded Ryan's talk of Star Wars. So based on that, and what Ryan was saying, I just could not go with Anakin and Amidala based on just you shredding his and listen to what he had. He could never go back on that. And I have to absolutely 100% agree with Alex. And what none of you guys could do is tear down what Michael said about his characters and the relationship of these characters and the lesbian relationship and the suicide and all that stuff. And I didn't expect to do this. I didn't expect it, but I'm gonna have to give my point to Michael as well. I mean, I think neither one of you guys said a one word about. You tried a little bit, Max, but Ryan, you didn't even try to go after Michael's pick. So I have to go with Michael once again.
All right. Well, that settles it. Thank God, because I was very torn on all three of these. I honestly think my point could have gone either way. I have no idea. But wow, what awful couples that I hope no one ever aspires to be like. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us. But that will conclude your performance. I think you fought valiantly. I think you fought with honor. And I hope we see you again soon. But with that said, we are moving on to the speed round. So, score update. Michael, you have 3 points. Max, you have 1. We are playing 1st to 4 here. That means, Michael, all you need is one speed round point to win. But, Max, we'd love to see a comeback stage as well. So, here's how the speed round is going to work. With the first question and the second question, if we get there, I will ask the question. Each of you will need to say your answer, whoever we hear first, and I'll be asking my judges just to double check who we hear first. You will go first. You will pitch your answer. You have 30 seconds to open. Your opponent will then have 30 seconds to follow, and then after that, you will each have 15 seconds to rebut. And then for the final question, it will be 30 seconds, 20-second rebuttals, followed by 10-second closings. So, without further ado, are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1. Alex, we good on the clock?
Yep.
All right. Question number 1. You're going to have 2 choices. Which former MMA fighter had a better transition to Hollywood? Gina Carano or Ronda Rousey?
Gina Carano.
All right. That's Gina Carano for Michael, which means, Max, you have Ronda Rousey. Michael, 30 seconds once you begin.
I couldn't even really tell you what Ronda Rousey's done. I mean, I've got no particular reverence for MMA anyway, but I couldn't really name you anything Ronda Rousey's done. Gina Carano has been about a bit more. I'm pretty sure she was in Deadpool. Please don't fact check me on that. I mean, what? There's just nothing that Ronda Rousey has done to suggest that she has any current fame in Hollywood.
Time.
All right, Max, 30 seconds once you begin.
All right, Expendables 3, Furious 7, Entourage, Mile 22. These are some of the movies that Ronda Rousey has been in. Very popular, very big budget action movies that people either like or don't like, but it doesn't matter. She's been in really high profile movies. Sure, Gina Carano's been in Deadpool, but that's about it. Ronda Rousey's been in more big blockbuster movies than Gina Carano has. That it?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. Michael, 15 seconds.
I mean, okay, fine, but Mile 22 was very bad. The Expendables films are very bad. Deadpool made a lot more money than these films, and who does Ronda Rousey play in those films? Gina Carano plays Angel Dust in Deadpool. I can tell you these things because Deadpool on its own is a better film than Ronda Rousey has some forgettable old films.
All right, time and Max, 15 seconds.
Well, Ronda Rousey has kicked a lot of ass in all those movies, especially Furious 7, which has made over $1 billion. So that's a lot more than Deadpool. She's in bigger movies than Deadpool was, and has a pretty good impact in all of those movies. Even though she's not great of an actress, at least people. Well, there you go.
All right, whew. Dan, I'm going to hear from you first.
I'll tell you what. I think Michael started out good, but then once Max had a chance to talk, and he rattled off all those films Ronda Rousey was in, he just took it right from the get-go after that. And so my point is for Max.
All right. And then we'll go to me. I couldn't agree more. I thought Max was dead in the water after Michael's opening, and then he started talking, and then my mind completely changed. So Max won that one easily for me. So with that, it is 3-2. Michael's still at game point. But we move on to question number 2. Again, you're going to have 2 options. What is the worst Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore collaboration? 50 First Dates or The Wedding Singer?
The Wedding Singer.
All right, Wedding Singer for Michael, which means 50 First Dates goes to Max. Michael, you have 30 seconds whenever you're ready.
50 First Dates is at least kind of interesting. The concept of it kind of keeps you going on, and I think it allows for a slightly nicer performance from 2 of them where they can have a bit more chemistry. The Wedding Singer is just obnoxiously a bad film. There's no redeeming feature. It's not an interesting concept. The characters aren't interesting. 50 First Dates has an interesting idea behind it, and I think they do a decent job with that idea. There's playing these characters.
All right, Max, 30 seconds once you start.
Are you kidding me? 50 First Dates is incredibly offensive, incredibly unfunny, vile, excruciating to watch compared to The Wedding Singer. At least The Wedding Singer has some good songs, has a good performance by Adam Sandler. He has a good chemistry with Drew Barrymore. Sorry. Whereas in 50 First Dates, it's completely offensive. It's just not that great. It's just not that great of a movie. It's completely forgettable. I guess that's
all right.
All right, and Michael, 15 seconds.
I don't think it's as offensive as other things we've mentioned here today. I think I think it does enough with its idea. The Wedding Singer is a non-idea. It's a non-film. 50 First Dates has more.
All right, and Max.
50 First Dates is a non-idea and a non-film. The Wedding Singer at least has a good performance from Adam Sandler. At least he tries compared to what is brought up in 50 First Dates. So, yeah, you've got that, and you've got a good performance from Adam Sandler, good chemistry with Drew Barrymore. There you go.
All right. I will start this round of judging, and I'll start by saying I actually like both of these movies quite a bit. But while I didn't totally agree with the severity to which Max bashed on 50 First Dates, I will say that his arguments resonated more with me in terms of Adam Sandler's performance and the chemistry between the two. So, yeah, my point is going to go to Max for this one. Alex.
Well, first off, if we're talking the worst collaboration between these 2 actors, we cannot forget the movie Blended, but thankfully we did for this question. But as to the question itself, echo everything you just said, Nicholas. Max was just able to pound more points home on why 50 First Dates is the worst movie of the 2, as opposed to Michael kind of spending more time on the defensive about that movie. He didn't really say much against The Wedding Singer, so I'm going to give my point to Max on this one as well.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very interesting situation. As I say, we have a very interesting situation here. We have reached our final speed round question. We are tied up at 3-3. Max has 3 points. Michael has 3 points. This one's for it all. A little bit of a different format here. You will have 30-second openings, followed by 20-second rebuttals, and then followed by 10-second closing. So we'll actually go back and forth 3 times here to determine a winner. And I have your final question right here. Once again, it's between 2 options. And here is the question. Better Jaden Smith performance, Karate Kid or After Earth?
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
And I heard Michael with Karate Kid first, which means Max, you have After Earth. Michael, you have 30 seconds once you begin talking.
I mean, After Earth is completely wooden. He has no ability to. He's supposed to be part of this big idealistic sci-fi film. I know it kind of wasn't, but he just isn't able to bring the depth that you need for those films. Karate Kid is good, energetic performance from him. I think it's got that sort of youthful naivete that he requires for that role. It allows him to be quite active on screen, which I think benefits someone with his energy. Which After Earth just does not have any room for these qualities.
Time.
All right, Max.
Okay, at least in After Earth, he tried compared to what he did with the Karate Kid. It's just completely awful. He whines all the time. He keeps getting into fight for no reason, just to impress a girl. Then apparently, miraculously, he starts training with Jackie Chan, which apparently makes him a better man. But who really cares? At least in After Earth, his performance is more mature. It's a much more grounded performance than the Karate Kid, where he just whines all the time, cries all the time, and just, does a bunch of dumb kids do.
Time. All right, Michael, you have 20 seconds.
I feel like those are problems with the script, that he's just randomly beating on people and the whole Magic Man Jackie Chan thing. I think he has better chemistry with Jackie Chan than he has with his own father. I mean, that's ridiculous on itself. And I just think After Earth has these ideas which Jaden Smith just does not have the ability to communicate in that film. He's better with that active, youthful spirit that he's able to bring to the Karate Kid.
All right, Max, 20 seconds.
It's not really youthful spirit if he just whines all the time compared to what he did in After Earth. And After Earth, at least, he does something, that is, he acts on his own with a walkie-talkie, and it's not that bad. It's not horrible, but it's not that bad. It's not great, but at least it's totally watchable compared to the Karate Kid. You just cringe all the time. It's just like, oh, why are you doing that?
All right, and here we have it. Last round, 10 seconds. Michael, when you begin talking.
I'm not really hearing exactly what it is he does in After Earth that's that special. Like I said, he hasn't.
And Max.
Karate Kid equals cringe. After Earth equals meh. That's it. It's cringe versus eh.
All right. What better way to wrap up the match than that, ladies and gentlemen? We are going to go to Alex first on this, and please do not make me break any kind of a tie, you two.
Oh, God. Again, 2 different movies, 2 different roles, but thinking through it, honestly, Max's last point kind of summed it up. It is a matter of cringe versus meh when it comes to Jaden Smith performance. So I'm going to give my point to Max on that one.
All right, 1 for Max. Dan, you're up.
Yeah. I know Max was going for this kind of like he was crying, but I felt like when Michael started talking about how it was youthful exuberance and he was just being a kid, and then he had great chemistry with Jackie Chan, and that his chemistry with Jackie Chan was better than his chemistry with his own father in After Earth. Those are the things to me that set it aside for Michael. Sorry, Nicholas, I didn't mean to do that to you.
That's all right. That's
I
why
just
I'm here.
like Michael
That
had
would be a consummate professional. Oh God, this one was tough, you guys. I did like the point, the chemistry point, but I do think there was points brought up about chemistry with the girl. I don't think I'm misremembering that. So while there was good chemistry with Jackie Chan, there was not great chemistry with the romantic interest in that movie, which is what I heard. And I gotta say, I think I relate a little bit more, just a little bit more, with what Max was saying, in that it is sort of just a whiny performance, whereas in After Earth, while like the writing might not be good, the direction might not be good, at least it's a little more serious of a performance. I think his last statement really summed it up, where it's cringe versus meh. So my point is going to go to Max. And Max, congratulations, we have a winner. What a performance. Clean sweep of the speed round to come back and take the day. What a great batch of fighters. Max, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. There you go.
Good, I'm glad to hear. What a performance. It was a pleasure to watch. Michael, you did great, man. I thought you really killed it in the main rounds, and then you just came into a buzzsaw that was Max in the speed round. But I really admire your performance. How you feeling?
I mean, the MMA, Adam Sandler and Jaden Smith. I quite like films by Paul Thomas Anderson and that get nominated for Oscars. Those speedrun questions just were not doing it for me. Congratulations to Max. You clearly have a better knowledge of absolutely dreadful cinema than I do, and I congratulate you for having that, I guess. It was a good game. I had a lot of fun.
All right. Well, let's get Paul Thomas Anderson to direct Ronda Rousey, Jaden Smith, and Adam Sandler in a movie. So I'm going to go to my judges. Alex, give me your thoughts on the fight. How do you think it went?
That was honestly one of the best matches I've seen in a while. Mike, you said it perfectly. Michael was killer in the main game, but then that speed round, Max just came in like a buzzsaw. He had the good timing. He just got everything out there that he needed to. And if memory serves, the admins can fact check me on this one. He's only the second person ever to go into the speed round and sweep it to win the match. The first is myself, but not to make this about me at all. Completely on Max. Holy crap, dude. What a performance. I'm kind of scared to ever play you in a speed round because now I know what you're capable of. That was amazing. Props to you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dan, give me your thoughts on the match overall.
I'll tell you what, these guys, I had a feeling that it would be fun to listen to these guys. And some of the topics were kind of like, oh, this is really lending itself for some really good banter and some funny dialogue from these guys. Even Ryan had a lot of funny things to say, even though his arguments weren't the best. Max, you're just the king of bad movies. Obviously, we found that out. You just love bad movies, and you're the king of bad movies. Michael, I'll tell you what, you were fantastic in those main rounds. You really made a lot of great arguments. Congratulations to everybody in the match. Congratulations to Max for coming back. What a great comeback.
I agree with that. And he's been here the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. Cody, let me get a quick thought on the match here.
Chaos is a really good word for that match. Again, I hate triple threats for a simple fact is you don't know where to fight and when to throw punches because stuff. I disagree with some judging, not all of it. Again, that's just how judging works. It's based on what you like or what you feel. But I think Max is chaos for a reason. He didn't want to share some answers, and there's a reason behind that because speed round is where he made up his ground. Michael is the king of semantics. I will say that right now. Like, oh, well, we're getting a Black Canary movie, so your pick sucks. I'm like, what? And Ryan just sit there and take it, and then Ryan is the king of quotes. So, like, it was a fun match all around. It was exactly what I thought from this match. Exactly what I thought would happen.
Couldn't agree more. And then lastly, Ryan, I just want to get your thoughts real quick on the speed round that you just witnessed.
Oh, am I still here? Okay. I'm used to being a punching bag and being the car that everyone takes sledgehammers to and beats the living crap out of for a living. But no, this was a good match. Michael kept fixing his hair. I wasn't sure if he was trying to comb it back, put hair gel in it. I don't know what was going on there on his side of the fence. Max, you know what to do, brother. You have all these words, sentences, resources at your disposal, and you use them to your full advantage because you kicked tail and took names. But man, good match by everybody. I don't know if I'm ever going to come back because I have like a 0-6,000 record. But hey, if someone wants to use me as a punching bag next time, feel free. But yeah, good match, guys, and good job to the judges too. All the panels of judges here, fantastic. Good job, guys.
Thank you so much for that glowing endorsement, Ryan. I appreciate it. And lastly, we're just going to go down the line real quick. Let everyone know where you can be found, whether it's via social media, whether it's on the street corner. Alex, let's start with you.
You can find me on Facebook as under Alex Warden, Instagram at alexander.warden. Find me on Twitter at YesI'mThatAlex. You'll find me soon in the singles tournament in Full Metal Trivia singles division, and potentially coming back soon for a contenders match here in Battleground. I don't know when or if that's going to happen, but we'll see.
All right, Cody.
If you're in this trivia community, you'll probably see me somewhere, and you'll see me defending my belt in this very league anytime I play anybody. So, yeah.
All right. Max, our winner today, congratulations. Where can we find you?
Thank you. You can find me on Twitter, Max from Quebec. Letterboxd my name, Facebook my name, and you will not be able to find me at Star Wars Celebration because I will not be there.
No. Michael, let's hear from you.
You can find me in various places, but I don't know. Just look, you'll find me, I guess.
Great to know. Ryan, where can we find you?
Boy, that didn't sound creepy and ominous. You can find me on Facebook at Ryan Permision. Find me on Twitter and Instagram. Just look for my name there. Find me on Letterboxd at Ryan Movie Buff, where you can see all my crazy lists and my hot takes because I'm the master at that. You can find me there. Find me competing in the various movie trivia leagues, whether it's multiplex, Full Metal, all that good stuff. And check out our YouTube channel, Nerd Culture, on YouTube at Nerd Culture, Twitter and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. Videos are up now. New videos are coming your way very soon. Thank you so much for having me. Back to you in the studio.
All right, and second to last but not least, Dan.
You can find me at my name, Dan Scapal, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest, or at From the Fourth Row at WordPress.com, where I write about movies, or the website that I work for called Cinesportstalk.com. That's CINESPORTS.com, where I write about sports and movies. Or anywhere in these trivia leagues, I try to do the best I can and get involved. Sometimes you won't see me for a while, but then I'll pop up.
All right, and we will definitely keep a lookout. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host. My name is Nick Toohey. You can find me on Facebook at Nicholas Toohey. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, not super active, but my handle is College Movie Man. That's at College Movie Man, all one word. You can find me in this league making my debut very soon against the one and only Jay Burns. Will I suck? Probably, but stay tuned. I'd like to thank you again. Thank you all for a great match. For a great evening here on the West Coast. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great night, morning, whatever time you're watching it. See you next time.